I needed a job that was not just your regular kind of cubicle desk work. I found that I was very energetic, even to this day as I get older. I was gifted mathematically speaking, so I figured, okay, I was really good at physics and I love activity, put both together, and I came out with electrician. I mean, technically you don't need any training or education, as the apprenticeship itself is an education pathway. However, I feel like the governments are really pushing the skilled trades now, so the starting barrier, in my opinion, has been raised over the last 2 years because now you have all these applicants trying to enter the field. So naturally, when there's a massive influx, you have to make yourself stand out. So I say education or work experience to help, your hireability. Before I really got into my apprenticeship, like I did venue building. So we're building, stages for Michael Bublé when he comes to Hamilton. We're building wrestling arenas. We're doing the lighting for the Shawn Mendes concert. It's, so things like that. So it's not necessarily like, oh, look at me, I'm an electrician, but it's in the sense of I can see a project, I can see a vision, and I can bring it to life. So if you can get those experiences, that's great. Taking pictures of what I like to call your masterpieces are incredible. For example, the boxing ring that we built. Of course, we did the walkout, we did these amazing LED walls. If you show that to employers, they'll be like, okay, again, they can see that he can actually bring things to life. Because that's what construction is, right? We look at a picture and we actually put the life into that building. So if you can find a way to show companies that you can assist in that, you're gonna be golden, the money will be flowing, because money always flows to those who create. That's a tough one. I feel like naturally you would just have to go with your wire strippers, because your wire strippers can have the linesman tip, like your plier tip. So you can, if you need like a set of pliers on hand, you got your cutters and your strippers all in one. But the multi-driver is a close second. That's pretty useful too. I think something that really shocked me was during my first and second year of my apprenticeship, just before COVID, so for about a year, my company at the time had landed a contract with Duffer & Peel, and we were going around to, I think it was something like 14 schools. And we were not only installing a new emergency response system, which is like, fire alarm, exit signs and whatnot. But for some of those schools as well, we were installing like air conditioning. I know it sounds silly, but we'd be in the heart of downtown Toronto, and the school has no air conditioning. We know the summers, 40 degrees, 45 degrees, peak July, or not even July, in May even. And it's like, we live, at the time it was 2019, I'm like, we live in this modern age with so much money compared to the 2000s, to the 90s, to the 80s. And I'm like, these kids don't have air conditioning in their school. And I was only like 18, 19 at the time. And that kind of baffled me because I went to a school that had like full air conditioning even in the portables, whereas this place had nothing. And so of course doing that project, I was like, wow, these kids are really gonna appreciate that. One misconception is people always joke that if you can't make it in this world, well, you can always go pick up a trade because they're not that hard, anyone can do them. And some of the best critical thinkers and problem solvers that I know are tradespeople, because personally, when you're bringing any project to life, there can be very random incidences that, they had a transformer blow up over the weekend. The neighbors across the street had to call the fire department. And it's like how that can put a real wrench in the entire game plan, because no one really counts on that happening. But then the ability for some of these people who, society labels as not that smart, come up with these incredible creative on-the-spot solutions so that these grand projects and plans still run as they should be. Because that's the other thing too. We're talking million-square-foot warehousing, stuff like that. There is years of planning, years of permit getting, years of engineering that go into these things. And unfortunately, that means then deadlines are also, pretty high stress and high importance because of all the time and effort it took to get to the deadline. that now pushing it back could cost potentially millions of dollars. And it doesn't take a genius to understand that millions of dollars is a lot of money, and if there's any way that that loss can be avoided, people want solutions. So first thing, the importance, networking is huge in any industry, regardless white collar, blue collar. If people know you and people vouch for you, that goes a long way. The best way to network is just to be your authentic self. Find the environment and the people that they thrive in. I personally always suggest showing face, showing energy, and showing personality. They want to see that if you can show up to my office and hypothetically walk away with nothing, I can trust that if I actually send you to a job site, you'll show up and you'll perform. But I always say, if you send an email to a company, within a couple days, I suggest driving right down to their office and just following up, right? Anyone can call a secretary, right? How many cold calls can you do in an hour? 40? But if you can go there in person, it shows that even though I could walk away with nothing, I want to show you that I'm actually serious about whether it's starting my career or continuing my career. Yeah, just that this is not just some little side project for me, right? That this is a big deal. And companies like that, right? When people look at their careers, is a big deal. Because who wants to invest in someone who isn't even sure if they're going to be here 6 months from now, right? I live by stretching. Daily stretches, little stretches at work, after work. You know, at the end of the day, I put in an average of maybe 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. So if you're doing all this physical activity and then you're kind of just sitting when you get home, I promise you the shoulder injuries will come, the back injuries will come, the hamstring injuries will come. We do work a physical job, so we have to take care of our bodies. Money doesn't really matter in the first 2 years. Naturally, it's going to be the lowest point of your career. But going off of what I said before, if you can build your foundation and get your knowledge, money will always come to those who create. So learn how to create things efficiently, and companies will be lining up wanting to hire you because that skill is a lot harder than you think.